also think it's incredibly important that to build the solidarity and the network of support for not just the rail workers, the bus workers and the postal workers and any other group of workers that go into battle against the Tories in coming months. That the Huddersfield TUC have agreed to launch a Kurt Lees Deserves a Pay Rise campaign, and we'll be setting up a meeting next Wednesday. And to talk about that meeting is Mike Forster. Mike.
Is this louder? Good. So the people at the back said they couldn't hear, and we want you to hear the message about what the next steps are. Look, we've heard from trade unionists and workers and campaigners about all the different issues that are going on in this town and across the area. What the Trades Council wants to do is to bring all those campaigns and potential strikes together so that we can publicise them and escalate the action that is starting to develop. It's very important that we all support the rail workers. It's clear from the stand that Johnson is taking that this is not the end of the strikes, that they are going to have to continue until this government can be forced to see sense. We've had the Arriva bus workers who've been out on strike, as your chair mentioned, into their 4th week of indefinite strike action, because once again they're fighting for a better pay deal. And then at the university, as Siobhan has said, they're now talking about imposing redundancies on university staff without consultation. And then our heroic postal workers will know the result of the ballot within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And so it's important that if all these different people are taking action, that we try and combine together. It's important as well that we look at the idea of unionising those people who currently are not in trade unions. We have a young trade unionist here in the crowd today who is beginning a campaign across the town to unionise in all the non-unionised workplaces where young people are gathered. A lot of them never heard of trade unions. What Joe was telling me about the conditions in their workplace: no contract, no sick pay, they don't know their hourly rate. A member of staff was told to leave after 2 years service because they'd found another job. No rights whatsoever for young people. These are the people that the government will want to use if they want to bring in agency workers in order to try and break strikes. Therefore, it's important that we all stand together, that we recruit more people into the trade union movement, and we seek to combine and escalate the action that is taking place. But the other factor of this that we all have to bear in mind, the struggle that we're all involved in is not just in this country, it's international. I read about the EasyJet workers in Spain who have said that they're going to take staggered strike action in July and August. That's going to bugger up the flights again, isn't it? And they want a 35% pay rise, and they'll stay out until they get 35%. I stand in solidarity with the protesters in America at the moment who are campaigning and fighting to maintain Roe versus Wade legislation, because those gallant women and men who are campaigning on the streets now are not just fighting culture wars, they're fighting a rigged Supreme Court that is attempting to take us back 30, 40 and 50 years. Make no mistake, there are people in this country and across the rest of Europe that will attempt the same thing, and we have to see the link between all of these struggles, as well as the anti-racist that we were talking about in relation to Wakefield. Obviously delighted that they've been thrown back. So there are many struggles taking place. 7 years ago, we had a demonstration through this town of 400 people, Kirklees Save Our Services, where we brought together all the different trade unions to campaign against redundancy. There is something in the air again. The Trades Union Council demonstration that took place last Saturday, there were 50,000 people. That's the start. I think that's the trigger, and we're going to see bigger movements develop over the next period.
We can no longer tolerate a government that is imposing this cost of living crisis on us, and make no mistake, there is appalling profiteering taking place by gas and oil companies, never mind a windfall tax. These companies should be brought into public ownership because that's our sea, those are our resources, and they should be greened up, never mind using fossil fuels. So we have a government that's digging in, trying to make an example of the RMT, like Thatcher tried to do with the National Union of Mine Workers. It's beholden upon us all to stand in solidarity with them. Next Wednesday at 5 o'clock at the Methodist Mission, the steering committee that was elected by a very good Trades Council meeting on Thursday night, where we heard from all of these struggles, is to bring them all together. We want to have a big rally in town again with speakers from all the unions, to be followed by a demonstration. In 2016, many of you were here. You'll remember that there were 8,000 of us here fighting to save a hospital. And that campaign went on for 6 years. But we were told by so many people at the time, it's a done deal. There's nothing you can do about it. We even had a placard that said, you've got to fight the done deals. It's a done deal if you do not. And all these people who are here today have decided that they've decided to do something. And the slogan that Bob Crow came out with was, if you fight, you will win, or you can win. But if you don't fight, you sure as hell will lose. There is something in the air, and I think that we can win. So if you can, come along to the steering committee next Wednesday evening at 5 o'clock, where we want to begin a campaign of Kirklees needs a pay rise. Rail workers need a pay rise, but let's be right. We all need a bloody pay rise because they're giving it to the MPs, they're giving it to the executives, but the rest of us, we can't afford to heat and we can't afford to eat, and we've got to stand up and fight back. So if you want to get involved in that struggle, please come to the meeting on Wednesday. Solidarity with us all.
Thanks, Mike.